Hi students, I'm Praveen Sebastian Paul. In this lecture we are discussing the flip-flops. A flip-flop is an electronic circuit with two stable states that can be used to store binary data. The stored data can be changed by applying varying inputs. Flip-flops and latches are fundamental building blocks of digital electronic system used in computers, communications, and many other type of systems. Flip-flops and latches are used as a data storage element. It is a basic storage element in sequential logic circuits. But first let us clarify the difference between latch and a flip-flop. Before going to that, we are discussing the term flip-flops. In electronics, a flip-flop or latch is a circuit that has two stable states as we mentioned above and can be used to store the state information, that is a bistable multivibrator. The circuit can be made to change the state by signals applied to one or more control inputs and will have one or more output. It is the basic storage element in sequential logic, and flip-flops and latches are fundamental building blocks of digital electronic systems used in any digital electronic world. The flip-flops and latches are used as data storage elements, and a flip-flop is a device which stores a single bit, that is a binary digit of data. One of its two states represents a 1 and the other represents a 0. Such a data storage can be used for storage of a state, and such a circuit is described as a sequential logic in electronics. When used in a finite state machine, the output and next state depend only on its current input but also on its current state. It can also be used for counting of pulses and for synchronizing variably timed input signal to some reference timing signals. Flip-flops can be either simple, that is transparent or asynchronous, or it may be a clocked one, that is a synchronous type. In the context of hardware description language, a simple one are commonly described as latches, while the clocked one are described as flip-flops. A simple flip-flop can be built around a single pair of cross-coupled inverting elements. Those elements may be vacuum tubes, bipolar transistors, field effect transistors, inverters, and inverting logic gates have been used in practical circuits. The clocked devices are specially designed for synchronous systems. Such devices ignores their input except at the transmission of a dedicated clock signal. These clocks are known as clocking, pulses, or strobing signals. And the clocking causes the flip-flop either to change or to retain its output signal based upon the value of the input signal at the transition. Some flip-flop changes output on the rising edge of the clock and others change in the falling edge of the clock. The flip-flops can be divided into common types as SR, that is set and reset. Another type is D for data or delay. T flip-flop, T for toggle, and another common one is JK flip-flop. The behavior of a particular type can be described by what is termed the characteristic equation, which derives the next, that is after the next clock pulse output, and the Q next in terms of the input signal or the current output Q. So as we mentioned, the different type of flip-flops includes SR, JK, D and T, and in the upcoming set of lectures we will discuss in detail about these type of flip-flops. And now we are discussing the difference between flip-flop and a latch. Firstly, we are discussing the flip-flop. A flip-flop is a basic digital memory circuit which store one bit of information. Flip-flops are the fundamental block of most sequential circuit, and it is also known as bistable multivibrator or a binary or one-bit memory unit. Flip-flops are used as memory element in sequential circuit. The output is obtained in a sequential circuit from combinational circuit or flip-flop or both. The state of a flip-flop changes at active state of clock pulse and remains unaffected when the clock pulse is not active. In particular, clocked flip-flops serve as memory elements in synchronous sequential circuit, and unclocked flip-flop, that is latches, serve as memory element in asynchronous sequential circuits. When it comes to the latches, latch is an electronic device which changes its output immediately based on the applied input. It is used to store either 1 or 0 at any specified time. It consists of two input, namely set and reset, and two output which are complement to each other. So simply, the basic difference between a latch and a flip-flop is a gating or clocking mechanism. The difference between a latch and a flip-flop is that the latch is asynchronous and the output can change as soon as the input do. A flip-flop, on the other hand, is a edge triggered and only changes its state when a control signal goes from high to low or from low to high. So when it comes to the applications of flip-flops, there are various types of flip-flops being used in the digital electronic circuits, and the application of the flip-flops are as specified, like counters, frequency dividers, shift registers, or storage registers. So my dear students, in this lecture we had discussed the introduction to flip-flop and latches. So as we mentioned, a flip-flop is an electronic circuit with two stable state and can be used to store a binary data. So flip-flops are used in digital electronic devices in order to store or to save a bit of information. So flip-flops and latches used to store a bit of information. That is, the concept of memory begins from flip-flops and latches. So my dear students, in the upcoming lecture we will discuss what is a latch and what are the different types of latch. Especially we will discuss SR latch. So my dear students, hope you had understood this topic. So dear students, kindly go through this assignment question. Question is, write notes on flip-flops. So dear students, as we mentioned, in the upcoming lecture we will discuss the SR latch, that is set reset latch. So dear students, see you soon. Until then, goodbye, thank you, and all the best.